Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am so sorry that my January wrap-up is so late and it's going to be in the dark because I like the dark and because I've been busy all day and haven't had time to film. But I figured it should be up now because it's the end of the first week of February and no one puts up January wrap-ups past the first week of February. So let's get into it about what I read in January. So the first book that I read first off, I'm going to be looking at notes from this little journal I got. It's the Book Lovers Journal. I love this so much. This is helping me along with Goodreads to track my reading progress. And it has like pages where you can write down like notes about the book and you can write down like how you rated it and stuff. So it definitely helps for when I'm trying to write reviews on my blog, which you should go check out. Link is in the crotch. And it's also got like reading wish list, which I haven't really filled up because most of my lists are on my Goodreads TBR. It's got other stuff, and it's just, I love it. So I'm very excited that I have this in my life. And I am going to flip to the page that is going to give me the first book I read this month. And the first book that I read last month, January 2016, was An Abundance of Katherines by John Green. So I said I was going to read this for the Holiday Booktubeathon. I ended up starting it, but I didn't actually end up finishing it until January of 2016. But basically, this book was really good. I don't remember what I gave it. I think I gave it like 3 stars. It was good. I really liked the storyline to it. I'm really iffy about John Green's books. I love John Green as a guy. I love his videos. I love his podcast. I think he's a really funny and he's a really funny guy, and he's got a lot of good like views on the world and stuff, and they're really interesting to listen to. But some of his writing just feels a little cliche to me. This book is about 2 friends who go on a road trip, and the first friend is really depressed because his girlfriend just broke up with him. And the funny thing about his girlfriend is that her name is Catherine, and his 18 previous girlfriends have been named Catherine. So this boy only dates Katherines with a K, and he's dated 19 of them. So him and his buddy go on a road trip the summer before college so that they can just kind of get him to not be sad, I guess. I don't really know what the premise of it. I think it's just to get his like spirits up. So they go on a road trip and they end up in this town on their first stop. And the first stop, they have a pretty girl with a complicated name. And John takes a really long time describing her personality. So I'm like, of course, she's going to get together with him by the end of the book. Like, that's just, I just feel it, you know? I'm not going to tell you if she actually did, because that would be a spoiler. But basically, if you've read this book, you know. So I did like the book. I liked the premise of the book. The only problem I had was that there was a lot of math. There were a lot of graphs and charts and, like, math things in this. And they're very hard to understand. So I'm just like, John, I'm an English major, please. So I gave that book a 3 out of 5 stars. The next book I read this month was probably the biggest book I've read all year, even though that's not really fair to say because it's only the first month of the year, but it's a lot bigger than the biggest book I read last year. So I'm just gonna give myself some props for it, and that's why I didn't read more books this month. So I read Harry Potter and the Order of the Pheonix by J.K. Rowling. This is the 5th book in the Harry Potter series. 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it. It's finally starting to get dark in this book. Like, it was a little dark at the end of Goblet of Fire. Like, there was kind of some darkness, but it was still kind of cheery. And this entire book is just dark. It's all dark. It is... How many pages are in here? It is 870 pages of dark. But 5 out of 5 definitely, because I mentioned with the first 3 Harry Potter books that they started getting this routine, and I was just like, I don't think I can read about the same routine with like little differences for 7 books. So I'm really glad that it's getting into more action. The plot is really developing really well, and it's really awesome, and something really sad happened in this book. I'm not going to tell you what, because, I mean, if you've read the book, you obviously know what, and if you haven't, I'm not going to spoil it for you, because I'm not a bad person. But basically, Rowling did something, like, the worst thing she could ever do to me, to my heart, in the Goblet of Fire. And I was like, well, at least it can't get worse from here. And then at the end of this book, it got worse. I didn't think she could hurt me more than she already had, but she did. So, thank you, Jennifer, for, I'm pretty sure that's what the J stands for, Jennifer. I don't know. Anyways, thank you, Miss Rowling, for tearing my heart apart. But definitely 5 out of 5 stars. I'm super excited. I'm on the Half-Blood Prince right now, and I'm super excited to see how it all plays out with the war with Voldemort and how it goes, and hopefully not too many of my favorite characters are lost in the battle, but sometimes you just gotta let that happen. So, yeah. And then the next book I read, I had 2 favorite books this month, guys. This book was kept recommending me by the entire internet. So this month I read A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, and it is a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, which is my favorite fairy tale one, because Belle is super pretty and she looks kind of like me. Not really, but 6-year-old Kelsey was like, that girl has blonde or brown hair, so she's me. And she reads, and I read, so we're basically twins. And, I just really love the story about it, this book is basically a loose retelling of that. So this book is about, and it's signed, by the way, guys. Hold up, let's talk about that. Oof. 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 Holy shit. Guys, I just found a map. I didn't know there was a map. So this book is about a huntress named Feyre, and this book kind of reminded me of the Hunger Games at the beginning, and I was kind of like, oh god, no, not this again. But basically, she is a huntress, and she hunts, animals to feed her family, because they're very poor, and, she's basically the only person that sustains her family. So one day she's out and she sees a big old wolf, and she kills it. And she doesn't know that it's one of the high fairies, or the high fae. So this world has mortal humans, and then it also has these fairies that are ruthless and evil and shapeshifters, and they are really hot. And they kill a bunch of people. So basically, she kills this wolf, not knowing it's a fae, because it's a huge wolf, and she's like, that's gonna feed my family forever. So she kills it, and then another wolf comes, a high lord fae, and I think he's a wolf or a lion or something. And he comes, and he's all like, yo, you killed my friend, so now you have to live with me forever in my land. And so that is where the retelling comes in. So this is for the 2016 Pop Sugar Reading Challenge. The first challenge was to read a retelling, so this is the book I chose for that. And I'm sorry, I think I'm cool. I'm not. And so yeah, basically that's it. This is amazing. I love this book so much. There were hot guys. There was action. There was ripping throats out. There was honestly, days after this book, I was thinking of soundtracks for the movie for this book. That's how you know that you're just in love with a book, because you keep thinking about it, and you think about oh, this song would go great for that scene. You keep thinking about how great it is. I honestly want to live in this world. So 5 out of 5 stars, new favorite book. And her second book in this series is A Court of Mist and Fury, and that is coming out May 3rd, and I emailed the publisher, and I was like, hey, you want to send me a review copy? But I don't think they're actually going to send me one, but it was worth a try, because, I love this book so much. So yeah, those are the 3 books that did I even write any notes on this? The depth of the characters. That's what I forgot to mention. The depth and character development in A Court of Thorns and Roses is amazing. I love it so much. They're just they're not one-sided. They have a million sides to them. They're a dodecahedron. Maas is a great writer, and I definitely am going to read a shit more of her stuff. So that is it. Thank you guys for watching this video. I put videos out on my YouTube channel every Saturday, and I put out new chapters of my just writing every Tuesday on Wattpad, so if you want to go check that out, you can. All my social media is linked below, and the quote from this month of books is from Harry Potter, because usually Harry Potter doesn't have very deep quotes because it's a middle grade book, but this one really got me deep. So it says, thoughts can leave deeper scarring than almost anything else, and that is true. I just need to say that again. Thoughts can leave deeper scarring than almost anything else. Words to live by, guys. Words to live by. So, I absolutely love that quote. Especially for someone like me who has suffered mental illness, that quote is just amazing. So, you know, it's kind of like Rowling's F you to people who say, just don't be sad. So, definitely love Rowling for that. Thank you guys for watching this video so much. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Comment below what you want to see next. Subscribe if you have not already. And I will see you next week. Bye.